Today's WNEM TV5 Evening Extra is brought to you by the Law Office of Carol Thomas.
Thanks for tuning in to TV5 Evening Extra. Cold weather tightening its grip on mid-Michigan as we take this live look over Flint and Saginaw. Several communities seeing lake effect snow throughout the day. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Chris Eastlick joins us with who could see more snow. Hey, Chris.
Joe, we've got winter weather advisories in place for tonight. Huron and Sanilac County are the areas that we expect most of the lake effect through tonight. Those go until 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. These areas are likely going to pick up the most snow. However, we will be watching Tuscola County as well. Tuscola County is going to be an area that could get added later, depending on how far the wind direction moves a little bit further, perhaps to the east. As far as your forecast goes tonight in downtown Saginaw, it's a completely different scene than areas like Flint. Downtown Saginaw is fairly clear, but if we flip over to our Flint camera, it appears that we've got snow-covered streets. I-75 has been moving a lot slower as well. So that is an area that if you are moving southward, especially tonight, make sure that you are keeping an eye on road conditions and driving to conditions. And speaking of those slowdowns, we've got several slowdowns in and around Genesee County and to the south into Oakland County. Temperatures around the region primarily in the teens. Those teens are expected to eventually drop a little bit further tonight, but I don't think they'll drop out of the teens in most areas. The wind chills, though, will be much cooler than that. We're already near and below zero in many areas tonight. I think we have the chance to be around 0 to 15 below by the time tomorrow morning comes around. Our sustained winds, mostly 10 to 20 out of the northerly direction. That northerly direction, the reason we expect some lake effect later on tonight. We will time out how much lake effect and when it ends coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Chris. Now that it's starting to feel like winter again, a new drop-in center is opening tonight in Bay City to help those in need escape the elements. Good Samaritan Rescue Mission and the city of Bay City teamed up on this project, renovating a 2,000 square foot space. TV5's James Felton has more.
We've been talking, we've been planning, and been working really hard, and it is so rewarding to know that we're going to be able to finally open the overnight drop-in center.
Dan Streeter is the CEO of the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. He tells us beginning tonight, the homeless in Bay City have a new way to avoid the elements with the opening of the overnight drop-in center at the Good Samaritan Rescue Mission.
We literally just got approval to occupy the site yesterday morning at 11 o'clock. And so we have been working around the clock to be able to get the space totally cleaned, ready to go, and be able to serve people starting tonight at 6 o'clock.
The finishing touches here are underway as this place will welcome its first guests tonight.
Maybe you're out in the elements, maybe in an abandoned house or in your car, or you've been living under a bridge. Wherever the place is, you now know that you can have a warm spot to be able to be tonight, and to be able to get a sack lunch and to be able to do your laundry, have a safe place to be, get a shower, help get care in that critical spot that you're in.
Streeter tells me he'll be there when the overnight drop-in center opens at 6. It's a moment he's been waiting a long time for.
Be able to see the look on people's faces when they come in, and the hope that to see a sense of relief, and for it to be able to deliver a message that somebody cares.
There are 30 spots available. People can show up anytime between the hours of 6 at night until 8 in the morning all year long. Streeter is hoping to eventually have an overnight drop-in center available in Saginaw as well. A hearing is set for tomorrow in the recall efforts in Grand Blanc Township. Earlier this month, recall language for Grand Blanc Township Supervisor Scott Bennett and Trustee Paul White were approved by the Genesee County Election Commission. The language stated that Bennett and White voted to approve the 2026 budget for the township. But similar language was rejected by the commission for the removal of Clerk David Robertson, Treasurer Mike Yancho, and Trustee Joel Fike. Tomorrow's hearing is at 10:30 in the Genesee County Courthouse. After the hearing, the chair of the Grand Blanc Recall Committee, Monica Shapiro, says she will discuss the timeline, next steps, and release more information behind the recall. Stay with TV5 for updates. Genesee County Animal Control is closed until Friday. Staff says the closure is due to a water main break. The facility was open for adoptions until 6 o'clock tonight. Genesee County Animal Control will reopen for all services Friday at noon. An old fire station in Flint is getting a new purpose. The building that's been empty for 3 decades will soon house a facility to prepare first responders for real-life emergencies. TV5's Zane Omer reports.
Have a centralized place that we all can go to. We're all excited.
Shuttered 30 years ago, the old fire station on Industrial and Stewart is being transformed into a new police, fire, and EMS training facility.
Whenever you see a fire truck out there, you see a police vehicle, and we can coordinate our efforts.
While the property will be owned and maintained by the city of Flint, departments from across the region will be able to pay to utilize the space.
We've got letters of support already from Tuscola County, Genesee County Sheriff, Clayton Township Police Department.
City Manager Edward Taylor says Flint is investing at least $1.5 million from the fire and police budget, which includes fixing the old building and buying vacant plots surrounding it.
Now we are in phase 2. That's what you're seeing now, the tearing down of the trees and tearing down of the homes that's down there.
Flint Fire Chief Theron Wiggins says this will allow them to have hands-on resources like a 3-story burn tower.
Be able to put our trucks up to that tower to go up to rescue people from the top of there. It's really unending when you talk about a training facility.
While police will have a firearms training facility.
We made that 50 yards because of the fact that they can shoot their high-powered weapons in that. You won't hear nothing on the outside. It'll be just soundproof.
Currently, Taylor says first responders often have to travel outside of the county, so the city having its own facility will save money and time.
If you have, I'm going to say 10 officers at training, those are 10 officers that's away from your area, and if something happens, it's going to take them 45 minutes or more to get back.
And Wiggins tells me it's not just the trainees who benefit.
The community should be confident that in the county and in the city of Flint have well-trained individuals. Because when the disasters strike, we have a fire in your house, you want to be confident that when that fire truck pulls up there, that you got experts going in to save your people.
In Flint, Zane Omer, WNEM TV5.
The city expects to move into the third of 4 phases later this summer, with hopes of having the new facility up and running by 2028. You can still reserve your seat for the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Tribute Dinner. Now in its 47th year, this year's theme is Preserving the Dream in the Midst of Turmoil. 7th Circuit Court Judge, the Honorable Mary A. Hood, will deliver the keynote address. The dinner starts at 5:30 tomorrow night at the Genesis Conference and Banquet Center in Grand Blanc Township. You can register in the hot links section of WNEM.com. If you drive through Genesee County, you're invited to learn more about a proposed roundabout. The Road Commission is holding a public information meeting tomorrow for the project at Elms and Lennon Road near the border of Clayton and Flint Township. During the informal open house, you can see maps, plans, costs, study reports, and speak with Road Commission staff about the impacts to traffic. The project is currently still under design, with construction proposed to begin in the spring or summer of 2027. The project is expected to cost about $1.6 million and will be funded primarily by the federal government, the Genesee County Road Commission, and Clayton Township. Tomorrow's open house is from 3 to 5 at the Flint Township Police Department. Young athletes preparing to hit the ice for some outdoor hockey. After the break, when you can see the action at the Frankenmuth Funtown Face-Off and the future events still looking for teams to play. Plus, Kids Day at the Midland Mall this weekend. The hands-on activities and what parents can explore still ahead. Tensions remain high and protests continue in Minneapolis a week after Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent. What's happening in Minnesota may have some questioning here. What could happen if an immigration crackdown happens in Michigan? TV5's Zane O'Meara spoke to the Genesee County Sheriff about his thoughts on what's happened and his advice for people when interacting with law enforcement.
It is tragic, and the whole situation has created a fear and an uncertainty even in Genesee County.
Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson weighing in on the deadly shooting in Minneapolis of a woman by federal immigration agents.
And the fact that it was predictable is because you see this pressure build up over the last several months about immigration and federal forces coming into cities.
Sheriff Swanson says law enforcement is held to the highest standard when it comes to deadly force, called the force continuum.
As force goes up, our force goes up. As force goes down, our force goes down, and it's instantaneous. So when you saw verbal commands to deadly force with very little escalation time, our staff, local law enforcement, is well aware that when you have somebody who is unarmed, wheels are turned to the right, people around have whistles, they're protesting, and they're driving away, you don't need to go to that level.
Since the summer, there have been numerous reports on social media made by residents of ICE in Genesee County. In July, Flint Township Police confirmed the agency had conducted a traffic stop of a vehicle they had specific to their investigation. Township officers had stood by with a uniformed presence, but the chief says they didn't have much information leading up to the incident. Sheriff Swanson says his office hasn't received any word recently of federal agents in our area. He says local jurisdictions are not required to help carry out ICE operations.
They have their responsibilities, I have mine as the sheriff. I don't enforce federal law, they can enforce state law. If any police officer, federal, state, or local, called for help because there was a dangerous situation, we would absolutely back up for the sake of protecting people's lives.
His advice when people are interacting with law enforcement, whether that's a federal agent or a local deputy:
comply, listen, be respectful. It should happen on both sides. There's a lot of people that can escalate something just by how they are handling their words.
Police departments can enter 287G agreements, which authorizes ICE to delegate state and local law enforcement officers the authority to perform specified immigration officer functions under ICE's direction and oversight. In Michigan, 7 departments are part of the program. In the TV5 viewing area, that includes the Roscommon County Sheriff's Office and West Branch Police Department. More local news: an outdoor hockey tournament at the Frankenmuth Ice Rink. The puck drops for the Funtown Face-Off on Saturday. Only players on 6 and 8 under official USA Hockey rosters can play. Teams will play 2 24-minute 4-on-4 games, with games continuing on Sunday. And to commemorate the event, each player will receive a Frankenmuth-themed keepsake. Registration has closed for Saturday's event, but the Funtown Face-Off returns February 7th. To register your team, head to the hot link section of WNEM.com. This weekend, grab the family and head on out to the annual Kids Day at the Midland Mall. Kids can take part in hands-on activities while parents explore what the Midland area has to offer, including schools, sports, health, and 4-H. Organizers say there's more than 50 organizations and companies participating in this annual event. Saturday's Kids Day at the Midland Mall runs from 10 to 3. More local news: the C.S. Mott Foundation awarding a $3.5 million grant for projects at the Flint Farmers Market. The money will go toward enclosing part of the Farmers Market outdoor pavilion, with the space featuring designated areas for food trucks, a centralized bar, a stage, games, and more. The money will also be used to improve the loading dock and storage area for vendors. The Mott Foundation says these projects will improve the attractiveness of downtown and support small business development.
And the winter weather advisories are in place until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. But even outside of some of these advisory areas, we are keeping an eye on areas like Genesee County as well, where we've repeatedly had some stronger lake effect snow bands come through. And while it seems to be more of the exception around some of these areas, we're still getting some snow covered roads in places like I-75 right around our Harley-Davidson camera. It seems like traffic is moving, but obviously at a much slower pace than usual. Your TV5 First Alert alert. Pinpoint Doppler radar shows snow is still ongoing in the Thumb as well and some other parts of mid-Michigan. But if we zoom in a little bit closer to some of our southern areas, especially around Flint and Lapeer in Genesee and Lapeer counties have plenty of slowdowns, especially from Flint southward into Ogama County or Oakland County, I apologize, and from Lapeer southward into Oakland County as well. The radar shows we've got these areas that are of darker shades of blue, just picking up plenty of moisture off of Lake Huron and getting some lake enhancement in some of these areas. So some of these darker bands that are going essentially from Flint to Grand Blanc down into Oakland County, you can clearly see why we're getting some totals that are certainly higher than expectations. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast as we go through tonight, lake effect will continue to be persistent as we head into the overnight hours and will likely keep on rolling right into the morning commute for some. It will eventually slow down, but it does look like it will be pretty persistent through at least about 5 and 6 o'clock before gradually tapering off later into Thursday morning. So how much snow have we adjusted our map to? Well, that area we've been primarily focused on between about 4 to 7 inches of snow through portions of Huron, northeastern Tuscola and northern Sanilac County, with an area of about 1 to 4 inches of snow outside of that. But of course, based on what we have been seeing in the Genesee County area, there will likely be areas that will be exceeding that 2-inch mark, of course, with what has happened for today. Your forecast for the next 7 days shows we'll have another opportunity for a clipper system that will be coming through on Friday. That system could move through during the morning commute, so possibly some slippery conditions as we start the day. We'll have some scattered snow showers on Saturday, some flurries on Sunday, and then more scattered chances for snow early next week with much colder temperatures right around the teens and low 20s.
Thank you, Chris. A live look over Bay City, where you'll have to shell out some cash in order to buy a home. That's because the price of homes there are rising and rising fast. According to a report by Century Communities, Bay City is the top city in Michigan for the fastest growing home sale price in 2025 at 34%. TV5's James Felton spoke with a real estate agent in Bay City to get her take on the housing market there.
According to statistics from the Bay County Realtor Association for residential properties, we did see about a $15,000 per house jump from 2024 to 2025.
Shelley Nijvetsky is a real estate agent with Air Reinhardt Bay Realtors. She tells me 2025 was a great year for home sales in Bay City and Bay County.
We're really strong and we're solid and we've got great momentum here. We're standing in a home right now that's closing this afternoon from a couple moving in from out of state. They just saw their new home for the first time last week, and they're excited to be part of our community.
Nijvetsky says this home ended up selling for $7,000 more than its original listing price when it first went on sale just before Thanksgiving. She has some advice for buyers and sellers alike entering the housing market this year.
Follow the comparables. Don't go out of the realm of where the price range tells you to be. They're going to sell if you price them right. Home buyers, don't skimp on inspections. Do your due diligence beforehand as you're going through that purchase agreement. Don't get frustrated if you're not finding the home that you want. We're seeing more and more of them come up for sale every day. So there's light at the end of the tunnel for everybody, I think, in 26.
James Felton, WNEM TV5.
Nijvetsky tells us homes sold in Bay County spend an average of 33 days on the market. State police have arrested and charged a 26-year-old Saginaw man for child porn. State police say they started investigating Luke Young when they discovered he was sharing photos online. He turned himself in after digital evidence was taken from his home. According to the Michigan Department of Corrections, Young was placed on unpaid stop order last Friday, the date he was arraigned. Young, who's worked for MDOC since 2021, most recently worked in St. Louis at the Central Michigan Correctional Facility. Young is charged with 2 counts of aggravated possession of child sexually abusive material and 2 counts of using a computer to commit a crime. Last week, we showed you the trash building up behind the former Zimmerman Center School in Flint and how those living nearby weren't happy about it. But now progress has been made to clean the site. Well, it's not perfect. It's better than what it was. A dumpster has also returned to the former school after the neighborhood said its disappearance led to the increase of dumped garbage. The property is owned by Flint Community Schools. All new tonight, it's a whole new way of making music thanks to a one-of-a-kind instrument.
I've always been a bit of an inventor.
The Unique Style on the News at 10 on the Great Lakes Sports and Entertainment Network. Then on TV5 News at 11, what does the future hold for Saginaw's nearly 100-year-old water plant? We may find out tonight. Also on 11, a sheriff's deputy ambushed in a parking lot, and it was caught on camera.
In your 7-day forecast shows we'll continue to see snow showers several times over the next week or so, and temperatures will feel more like January. We're in the teens and low 20s tomorrow, likely wind chills that are near and below zero. Slightly warmer on Friday, 20s over the weekend, and some teens as we go into early next week.
Thank you, Chris. If you want to hear more about the weather, head on over to our digital live stream at 9 o'clock tonight. You can join that stream at WNEM.com, on the TV5 YouTube and Facebook pages, on our Roku and Fire Stick channels, and on the TV5 News app. Thank you for watching WNEM Evening Extra. We'll see you back on TV5 at 11.